president of Franklin's Opus, a nonprofit organization that promotes the study of American history and America's founding principles.
My name is Benjamin Franklin. I am honored to be associated with Franklin's Opus and Dr. Klugowitz. This is an inspiring topic, not Benjamin Franklin, but the whole study of America and its history and its legacy. And I am honored that they've put my name on it.
Your life, the Kite Experiment
Yes.
of June 1752. Can you tell us a little bit about that? It must have been very exciting.
Well, yes, it was exciting. I had been interested, passionately interested in the study of electricity for some time, and one of the things that intrigued me was lightning. It had become apparent to me that lightning was a form of electricity, perhaps the ultimate form of electricity, but this opinion was not shared by everyone, and I felt it necessary to prove that both to myself and to others. So I had been working in my laboratory on my electrical experiments, and my son had been working with me, my son William. By then he was 21 years old, and I engaged him to assist me in this experiment. We had made a very large kite and made it out of silk because in my plan I was going to fly it in a thunderstorm. I didn't want a kite that was going to be torn apart, and I had attached to the bottom of the kite a silk ribbon with a brass key, and to the top of the kite I attached a wire about 1.5 foot long. It was my theory that if I flew this kite in this thunderstorm, that the wire would attract the electricity in the lightning, and that being in the rain, the kite and the string would being wet would conduct that electricity all the way down, and the electricity would culminate, if you will, in that key right in front of me. And so we saw one of those classic summer thunderstorms appearing, and you could see the clouds forming and the sky darkening. You could feel that air. And so my son and I said, it's time, and we ran out the door and went a little ways north of our home, and I had searched out a field. Now, I am told by some people that they've seen pictures or heard stories of me standing out in the middle of a field flying a kite in the thunderstorm, and I assure you that wasn't the case. It was not my intent to meet my demise. I've always thought that if you're going to conduct an experiment, you ought to be alive to tell people the results. So we had found a field with an open shed where cattle could take shelter in a storm or something. So I got my son to get that kite flying. And then we stood under that shed, and I could hold on to that kite string, and I had that key hanging right out in front of me. And sure enough, when that storm began, we saw those clouds darkening, and then I began to see the fibers of that string just standing on end and such. And I thought, well, let's see if this is true. And I was able to reach out and just barely touch that key, and felt that electricity go up my arm and to my shoulder. And I knew what electricity felt like. I had knocked myself out a couple of times in the laboratory with electricity, so I knew what electricity felt like, and I was able to publish my findings. But that's how it really happened, sir.
That's fantastic.